Good morning, girls and boys. Welcome to handwriting. So today we're going to be focusing on the letter O. Now before we start our handwriting though, it would be great if you are sitting at a table. Please make sure you're sitting at a table and hopefully your feet can touch the floor. If they can't, that is okay. So you will need to be sitting at a table and you will need a lead pencil. It would be great if your pencil is sharp. Before we begin, there's a little rhyme that I like to tell my class to help them remember what we need to do when we handwrite. So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 are my feet flat on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8 is my back up nice and straight. 9, 10, 11, 12. This is how my pencil is held. And remember guys, when we hold our pencil, we need to make sure that we are holding it with our three fingers, our thumb, our index finger and our third finger. So our thumb, our first finger and our second finger. Very important. And just nice and relaxed. We're not doing this, we're not arching our fingers up like a spider about to spring out of its web. We're trying to be nice and relaxed and gentle. So now we're almost ready to begin our writing. The last thing we need to do is make sure that the hand we do not write with is resting on our page so it doesn't move around. So let's begin. We're going to start with, well actually it's probably good to start with our name. Now my name will be different to yours of course, but there are some things to remember. So with capital letters, they are nice and tall. So my name, Mrs. Pryor, starts with a capital M. So I'm going to start above these lines and I'm going to go down, touch that bottom line, take my pencil off the page and I'm going to make like a V shape. So down, up, but then I'm going to go down one more time and take my pencil off the page. Now R and S are lowercase letters. They're smaller letters, so they are going to fit between the lines. So I'm going to put my pencil back on the page. I'm going to go down, a bit like a tree. So going down, coming up and branching. So about halfway up, I'm going to start branching and touching that line. We have to have a nice little gap in here. So you should see a nice little triangle happening. And then the letter S. Now we have to be careful with S because capital S and little s look the same, but lowercase s or little s will fit between these two lines. So I'm going to start just beneath this line here and I'm going to go around like that. So I know that you're not going to be writing Mrs., but this just helps you to think about where your capital letters go and where your lowercase letters go. So now I'm going to write the rest of my name, but I also have to remember to leave a finger space. So I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to start writing my P after my finger space. That goes straight down, and then I come around, and then R. Again, branching I between those two lines and then take it off and a dot. And then O, which is what we will focus on today. So O starts over here on the right and it goes around to the left, down, curves on the bottom, comes back up and joins. Make sure you join that, that's very important. And then an R. You've got to see me draw R 3 times. You'll be experts by the end of this lesson. So now let's focus on O. This is lowercase o. It looks a bit like a little egg, but it's definitely not a circle. Sometimes people draw it like a circle, but it's more like an egg or an oval. Then we've got uppercase O, which looks a bit like lowercase o, but it's much longer, and I think it's a bit slimmer too. and it looks a little bit more flat on the top. That's important. There are little differences between both of those. So I'm going to start over here on my my piggy face, it looks like, and I'm going to start over near the pig's ear, this ear over here on my right, and I'm going to put my pencil down and I'm going to go round very carefully, trace that line very carefully, coming up again, joining it up, taking my pencil off the page. Now I'm saying pencil because you will be using a pencil, but I am using a marker so that it's easier for you to see in this video. So now we're going to go a little bit further down to this part where we have our line of O, lowercase o, ready to trace. So I'm going to be very careful, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to pay attention to the starting dot, that's that little dark dot, and then I'm going to pay attention to the arrow, so it's showing me to go that way. This is really important, guys, because if you learn how to do it properly now, you'll be able to make lots of letters like A and G and C. And when you get to year 3 or 4 and you learn how to do cursive handwriting, it will be so much easier because you'll be able to join in the right spots. So I'm going to put my pencil on the dot and I'm going to carefully and slowly watch with my eyes, go around, I'm following the line with my eyes, I'm getting my hand to do what I'm following with my eyes. Now I don't have to think about leaving a finger space because it's already here for me, but when it's your turn to leave finger spaces, which is coming up soon, please make sure you do. So I'm going to go to my next one and I'm going to do that very carefully, taking my time, going around, making sure it touches both the lines. And then I'm going to do another, keeping the shape. Notice how my marker is going on top of those dots. Completing another one. I'm completing this one. And guys, on this last one, I'm just going to show you what not to do. Please don't do this, okay? Please don't rush, because when you rush, this is what happens. Now, if you have a look, my line that I drew isn't on any of the dots. My O is not the right shape. My O is not touching both of those lines. So I would not be doing a very good job with my O if I rush. So please don't rush, make sure you take your time. We're now going to go to the second line. If you need more time on the first line, then it is okay for you to pause the video. If you are okay to keep going, then you can keep it playing. So let's go to the next line. So I've got one O to trace this time, but have a look. Now I have to do my own. Ooh, I only get the starting dot and the arrow this time. So I've got to be very careful and take my time and use my brain and think really hard about what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to this dot. I'm going to take my time. I'm going around, touching the top line, going down, touching the bottom line, going up and joining. So that was my traced one, but now it's time for me to do it myself. So starting on the dot, and I'm going to touch that top line, going around, I'm curving slowly, really now curving the bottom, touching that bottom line, coming back up and joining that. I'm going to do another. And I'm leaving a finger space. Oh, that's very important. So leaving a finger space. I'm going around, down, thinking about what I'm doing, touching the bottom, coming up, joining, leaving a finger space, going up and around, down, taking my time, controlling my fingers, touching the bottom line, coming up, joining. Let's watch that a couple more times. So I'm leaving a finger space, I'm going around, down, touching the bottom line, coming up, joining. leaving a finger space, going around, down, curving the bottom a little bit, touching the bottom line, coming back up and joining. Well done if you've completed your line of O with me. If you haven't, that's okay too. Again, you can pause this video and then press play when you're ready to keep going, but take your time. All right, let's go to our next line. So our next line is a line of capital O. So these are taller. Have a look, guys, with our little O's, they do not come up above the line. There is nothing there. See? Nothing there. It's all in between these two lines. But if you have a look at capital O, look at that. Here's the top line. And here is the top of O. It comes above the line. That's really important because O is a bit like S. Little o looks like big O. Little s looks like big S. But it's the height, the size. That's the thing that makes them different. So I'm going to start up here where my starting dot is, way above the top line. And I'm going to go around slowly, down, following it, keeping my pencil on the page and not pressing too hard, because if I press too hard, joining that up, if I press too hard, I'll show you what happens. You start getting really squiggly, really tense, really jagged kinds of lines, and we don't want those. So keep it smooth. Keep your hand flowing. So we're going to go to the next capital O. I'm going to put my pencil on the page, taking my time, going around and down and up again and joining it. Again, around, down, curving the bottom, touching the line, coming up. Again, we're going around to the left, down, coming back up and joining. Again, starting on the starting dot, going around, down, coming back up again, joining. And the last one. So starting here, going around to the left, down, coming up and joining. All right. So now I actually get two words. Well, actually it's the same word, it's the word orange, but I get to practice it twice. And that's really good because if you get to practice it twice, then you've got two chances at doing your best work. So I'm going to show you, please watch really carefully because you might not know where to start each letter from. Please do not race ahead and do this yourself. That's why we are here. So remember where we start, over here on the right, and we go around to the left, down, touch the bottom line, come up, join. Then the letter R. So we start here like our tree, going down, coming back up, and then branching out. Now A, remember I was saying to you that if you know how to write O, then you'll know how to write A. So we start at the same point where we start O, but we go around, following the line, down, touching the bottom, coming up, just like an O, but then we come down. Aha! So if I can write an O, then I can write an A. Now N. N goes down from that top line to the bottom line, coming up, branching off like an R. See? It's like an R. If you know how to write R, you can do N. And going down. RG is another letter that has the O stroke in it. So starting over here, going around, down, coming up, making an O, but then going down below the second line and curving the bottom. And the last letter is E. E is a bit of a funny letter because E doesn't start at the top like most letters do. E starts in between these two lines, right in the middle. So I'm starting in the middle, I'm coming up and making a loop. The loop touches the top line, it goes down, touches the bottom line, and then we let go. That is the word orange. Let's try writing orange again. So starting over here, and if you're not ready, you can pause the video, that is okay. So starting over here on the right, we're going around, down, up, join. I will be a little bit quicker this time because I've practiced it and shown you slowly once. So let's try it a little quicker this time. So R, going down, coming up, branching off, touching the line. A is like an O, so going down and around, just like O, and then down. And then N, like an R, down, up, branch, touching the line, touching the bottom line. G is like an O, going down, curving the bottom. And E, remember E is interesting and different. So E starts in the middle, goes around, down, just like that. How cool is that? Wow, and we have completed our whole sheet. That is pretty cool. So I'm going to quickly show you over here how learning the O stroke is very important. Watch this. So if I know how to write O, then I can also write A. If I know how to write A and O, then I also know how to write G. If I know how to write O, then I can also write D. Pretty cool. Same with C. So C, O, A, D, G. If you would like, then you may colour in the orange. Oops. You may colour in the orange, which is down the bottom, and you may colour in the pig face. You can also colour the border if you like, or if you want, you could even practice again. There's nothing stopping you. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Keep up your careful handwriting and see you next week.